So, I'm here in a quarry in southern Ontario on a nice little club trip, and this is apparently some fresh stuff. So I'm going to start looking through this stuff and see if I can find anything good, and I'll let you guys know if I do. So that last spot didn't show a lot of promise, so I moved to a new spot with the aid of the trip leader. He showed me this spot, so I'm gonna be looking around here. It's a lot more promising already. You can see there's vuggy material with calcite and stuff. So where there are bugs, hopefully there's like fluorite. That's kind of what I want to try and find, hopefully. But as you can see, this has got tons of calcite in it. So hopefully some of this material has some good stuff, and I'll find something nice, and I'll show you guys. So, got a bunch of calcite here that I found. As you can see, maybe I'll take one of these pieces home, but I've got so much calcite specimens at home anyways that I really shouldn't be taking a lot of this material. I'm more interested in finding like some other stuff, like some nice sphalerites or fluorite or other things. Oh, I've got this boulder full of sphalerites that I first busted open in half. It's got some nice little gemmy clusters of sphalerite with some nice coloration, and I went to go and pick up a rock to prop under here, and I picked up this guy, and if you look right there, that's Galena. All by accident. Well, that has definitely made my day, so I'm pretty happy, but I'm gonna get to working on this guy, busting him open, and hopefully I'll get some nice sphalerite specimens out here too. I finally got the rock busted open, and I got a really nice cluster of sphalerite. I'm gonna leave it like this because these can be quite fragile, so too much vibrations will break up the clusters. So I'm gonna take this home and trim it up at home, just so that I don't ruin the specimen. Nothing spectacular, but got a little specimen of light pink dolomite with some nice clear calcite and a couple sphalerite lumps. So I thought I'd take it home. You know what? It's a little small specimen. It's not going to take up a lot of space. Might as well. I thought I'd show you something very cool. Make it away so that I'm not in the way. Look at this giant vug of calcite. Look. That's my hand. It goes all the way in there. Somebody did pop off a plate from here. There's a couple little chunks. I might take some of those and just, you know, when I do a giveaway, I'll give away some of these. Tiny little dog tooth crystals. Not bad. Little tiny chunks, but there's no way I want to bust this guy open, because I'm just gonna break it all. Like you can see, like it's pretty shattered already where it was extracted. But I can take a couple little tiny pieces. So that's what I'll do, and maybe I'll keep a couple, and then the others I'll probably put in my giveaways and stuff. So I got pretty lucky. There's a nice pile with a bunch of calcite and stuff, lots of calcite. I got this cluster out, and then one of the other club members here, they brought a stone saw. So there was a big boulder with, I was interested in this. You can see these look like pineapple calcites, and they're very large. So I'm hoping this cleans up nice, and this will be a nice little display piece. And this guy came off the same rock. Another nice large plate of calcite. And then there's this interesting stuff. This might be, I didn't know what it was, but somebody mentioned that it might be barite. So it might be dogtooth calcite covered in barite. which is cool. So I'm definitely going to take that home. And I've got some dolomite with some micro specimens. I'll hopefully be able to record them on the digital magnification thing I have at home. But that's cool. And then I've got a whole bunch of other specimens in here, including the gentleman who cut the thing. He cut this rock, and then I managed to pop it off. Here, see, here's that nice little gemmy cluster of reddish orange sphalerite. So altogether, a very good day for me. I got some Galena, I got some Sphalerite, I got some pink dolomite with some like micro minerals on it, and some nice calcite specimens, especially that guy. That guy's going to be nice. But I'm pretty happy with how it went. Thought I'd quickly take a video of this, guys. Oh, where's the sunlight? That's the best I can do. Check out this vein of banded chert. Didn't even realize.
That looks like it went over.
Check out this vein of banded chert. It's very interesting. I didn't even realize, like, I found banded chert in the fields a couple times, but I didn't realize it was we had a natural source for it. I'm wondering what would cause this. But very cool. So I was checking out those piles over there. And I found some chunks of selenite. Not the most see-through stuff, but I'm not going to complain. Still nice, so you know, a couple nice pieces of selenite. I could give them to people, or keep a couple for myself, you know, do whatever I would want. Honestly, this video should have been out ages ago, but I've just been so carried away with stuff. But I thought I'd show you some of the nicer pieces. This guy is huge, as you can see. It's a nice, lovely cluster of dogtooth calcites, and it's got interesting little formations and little pockets and stuff. It's a lovely specimen. It'll make a good display specimen. But it's just very cool. Some of the bigger ones, unfortunately, it was hard to tell when collecting them, but they had some substantial damage on some of the main points that I was interested. So those might just become my mom's garden rocks. I haven't decided yet, but I'll figure that out. So here's an interesting little side specimen. I kind of got this pocket off on another piece that I was trimming up to clean up for another thing that I wanted off of that piece. This is just some kind of, I think it's mammillary. I'll put the word. Mammillary growths of what looks to be, I believe, druzy quartz. With, you can see those really small yellow spots. Those are like tiny little sphalerite crystals. There's just these growths. You can kind of see they're almost like stalagmites or stalactites. You can see how they kind of grow. They're like botryoidal tubes is the best way of describing it. Now here's the piece that I was actually trying to get from the chunk that I was talking about. And this is a specimen of pineapple calcite. Now pineapple calcite is just dogtooth calcite, but the crystals have condensed together in one single cluster, and so they form kind of this rigid, spiky kind of growth, hence the name pineapple. And then you can see that there's tiny little flecks and specks of tiny sphalerite crystals. And both of these came off of the same rock. This guy I haven't been able to trim up yet, but you can see the lovely cube of Galena that's in there. But I will trim this guy up. It's just I have not had the chance to yet, so I just don't have so much time. I'm busy with work, so in the afternoons I'm pretty exhausted, especially if I go out into the field. So But I've been trying to get on top of my stuff a little better. But you can see that lovely rectangular cube of Galena. I'll definitely be trimming the specimen up so that it'll be a nicer, smaller specimen that'll fit in my display cabinet. Up next is another specimen of pineapple calcite. Now this one's interesting. If you look to the left of the calcite crystal, there's actually a coral, fossilized coral piece there. And then there's all these lovely little sphalerite sprays. Now this guy's pretty heavy because I haven't trimmed this guy up either. But this is definitely a very interesting specimen that I want to keep intact, so I got to be very careful when I'm trimming this one up. But it's a very cool specimen of calcite with a fossil and sphalerite crystals. Here has to be my best specimen of sphalerite that I collected from that trip. And it is just a beautiful gemmy reddish orange cluster of undamaged sphalerite. Well, there might be just a bit of damage there, but altogether it's basically intact. And you can see actually it was an interesting little pocket, so it grew also there. Kind of grew along the roof of the pocket. Just a very cool little sphalerite cluster. Now this is interesting. So this is a light pink dolomite specimen with, you can see a tiny little sphalerite cluster right in front of my thumb, kind of yellowish green. But you see all those tiny little black specks on this dolomite. So the dolomite in this area is known for having these really tiny microscopic blades of marcasite. Now I'll have to put up a picture of an example from online. I'll put it up like right now so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I hope to get a better, I got a cheap electronic microscope. I hope to get a better one. And actually, marcasite is notorious for decomposing, but there's local collectors kind of have this interesting homemade trick to try and keep them from decomposing. So I gotta do that to my marcasite specimens. I've got a couple other that have, I have another one that has a tiny little octahedral Galena specimen on it, also very small. You need a good microscope to get a really good view of it. I think I've seen pictures from the same locale of tiny octahedral Galenas, so I'll put one up right now if I can find one, so that you could see what it looks like. But I hope to, in the future, have a better microscope so I can look at these microcrystals, because this place is actually, the quarry I went to, it's mainly known for its lovely microcrystals of marcasite, pyrite, and galena. I thought I'd show you a couple more examples of lovely dogtooth calcite that you can collect from this quarry. These will probably be either giveaways or give to friends or other fellow collectors. I actually already got a person in mind for this one. And you just see the lovely honey yellow dogtooth calcite crystals. Now, last but not least is the chunks of selenite that I collected. Here's a piece that still is on the matrix, the host rock. You can actually see it's semi-transparent. There's some stuff that is just super, it's translucent, but there's some stuff that's super transparent, and I actually have one small piece that's got some transparency to it. But you can see here where it's thin enough, you can actually see the host rock poking out from behind. Here's another piece. You can see how the selenite fractures and cleaves. Now selenite is a variation of gypsum. I don't know what makes selenite, but I'm sure it's either anhydrous or hydrous or something, or how the gypsum crystals formed, yada yada yada, there's a reason behind why selenite looks like selenite. Now here's that. You can see my thumb, my finger behind it, right? So this is the translucent piece, and you can actually see it's on a piece of just white gypsum. And then it turned in, it was a pocket with gypsum in it, and then in the middle of the pocket would have had this nice clearer transparent selenite. We have gotten to the end of this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and please, if you like this type of content, please subscribe. I also do some arrowhead collecting content, so if you like that kind of stuff, I also do that. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.